All right, so that didn't work out earlier, so I'm recording these problems here, and you might hear Baby Shark in the background. So right here, it wants us to find a common denominator of 18. And I'm going to start with the one that grabs my attention first. And the one that grabs my attention first right here is 7/10 and 1 3/8. So the problem wanted you to find, okay, when you were adding or subtracting these pairs of numbers, which one, when you go to solve it, is going to get you a common denominator of 18? This jumped out to me because 10 plus 8 is 18, except you got to be careful here. When you add and subtract fractions, you don't change or you don't add and subtract your denominator before you can start working. You have to make sure that they are common. So if you have 7/10 and 1 3/8, as soon as you go here to get your common denominator, you have 10, 20 when you start to list the multiples of this one, and you're actually never going to end up at 18. So that's going to eliminate that one right off the bat. The next one that really grabs my attention is this one. Because I see 11/18, well, I already have a denominator of 18, so maybe I think that one's it. So I have 11/18 and 1 3/4. So I'm not even going to mess with this first one because it already has what I need. So for 4, I'm going to list the multiples. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20. And again, we have the problem of we're never going to land on 18, so I can't get a common denominator with that. So I would eliminate. Next, I have 2.5 and 4/9. Neither one of these really grabs my attention, so I'm just going with the first one I saw. 2.5 and 4/9. Okay, 2 is an even number. I know it's going to land on 18. I'm going to list the multiples to see how many. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18. And the multiples of 9, 18. 4/9 is going to work after two numbers. 4 times 2 is 8. 9 times 2 is 18. And here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We use 9 multiples. So we are going to have 1 times 9 is 9. 2 times 9 is 18. We have a common denominator of 18. That is going to be our answer, and I'll show you quickly why 1 5/6 and 7/12 is not going to get you 18. 1 5/6, 7/12. 6 is actually going to land on 18 with the multiples. But we're trying to find a common denominator. And the denominator that we actually have in common here is 12, not 18. And plus the multiples of 12 are 12, 24. It's never going to work. So the numbers that will give us a common denominator of 18 are 2.5 and 4/9. The next problem from the lesson I noticed people had some trouble with was 2 2/3 plus 1 1/2. And again, we have different denominators. We can't just add them up. We have to get a common denominator when we add or subtract fractions. So my multiples of 3, 3, 6. I'm pausing right here because I know I'm going to land on 6 with a multiple of 2. 2, 4, 6. Here I use two numbers. 1, 2. 2 times 2 is 4. 3 times 2 is 6. And I'm going to bring this 2 over. Here I used 1, 2, 3 numbers. 1 times 3 is 3. 2 times 3 is 6. And bring my 1 over. And I'm adding. 4, 6 plus 3, 6 is 7, 6. And 2 plus 1 is 3. Except we hit another one of those secret steps with fractions. This is improper. So I'm going to use our little song for improper fractions. Improper fraction, get into the action, flip and divide, flip and divide. So 6 goes into 7 one time. 6 times 1 is 6. And 7 minus 6 is 1. 1 remainder, and I'm going to use my little trick here. Put 1/6. Again, another secret step. You're going to be like, whew, look at all this work that I did. I've got to be finished. Not yet. You've got to take this 1 and 1/6 just represents 7/6. So you've got to have 1 and 1/6 plus 3, which is going to equal 4 and 1/6. And the last problem I would like to review with you guys is 9/4 minus 4/3. This one's a little tricky because you see the 4 and 4 here. You've got something in common, but we need a common denominator. And we have 4 and 3. Don't panic that they're both improper fractions. It's all good. We'll fix that at the end if we need to. But right now, let's get the common denominator. We've worked with 4 and 3 before. 4, 8, 12. I know that 12 is a number that 4 and 3 have in common with their multiples. 3, 6, 9, 12. Up top, we used 3 numbers. 9 times 3 is 27, and 4 times 3 is 12. On the bottom, we used 4 numbers. 4 times 4 is 16, and 3 times 4 is 12, and our sign is subtract. We know our last name is going to stay the same, or our denominator will stay the same. It's going to be 12. 7 minus 6 is 1. 2 minus 1 is 1. The answer here is 11/12.